Hello! In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to work a slightly tougher quadratic formula problem. Here we go. The problem I'm working this time is similar to number 4 in your 11-3 checkup. And here's the problem. We're going to do 2 equals x squared plus 5x. And we are told to solve for x. And zoom in a bit here. There we go. Solve for x when 2 equals x squared plus 5x. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write this in standard form so I have a better idea of what's going on in this problem. Again, standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We want all of our ducks in a row here. So let's do that. This 2 is in the wrong spot. So I'm going to adjust for that by subtracting 2 from both sides of my equation. 0 equals x squared plus 5x minus 2. There we are. First step, write it in standard form. Now we can take a look at this problem. I usually spend about 5 seconds just looking at a problem to see if I can factor it first. And I can't think of any numbers that multiply to -2 that would also add to 5. So with that, I just move on to the next method. The next one I might try is completing the square, but that is difficult on this problem because of this odd b value. So we're going to have to use our brute force quadratic formula method. And for that, we need to know our a value is the number in front of x squared, which in this case is our super secret 1. Our b value is number in front of x, and c is our constant, -2. Now that I know that, I'm just going to write out the formula over here so I have it to reference. The quadratic formula, x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we already know what these numbers are, it's just a matter of plugging them in. Let's do that. X equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4, gonna run out of room again, ac, which is -2. Just double checking myself here. So far so good. All divided by 2a. There we go. I just use substitution there. Just substitution. And I always use parentheses to show that I substituted. These are really the first problems we've had in Algebra 1 where if you're not extremely clean and careful, it's really easy to make mistakes. So practice being meticulous and careful in your work. Let's clean this up a bit. This becomes -5 plus or minus the square root of 5 squared and then we're going to multiply these out. I have a negative 4 times 1 times negative 2. Two negatives make a positive, so this will be positive 8, all divided by 2. As you're working through these quadratic formula problems, all of these steps will always be the same. So that is one nice thing, that you don't have to figure out a bunch of different steps. Here we are. Simplify just a bit more. X equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 32 divided by 2. Okay. We don't know the square root of 32 just off the top of the head. There's nothing that multiplies by itself to get to 32. It's going to be something irrational. But we can put this in simplest radical form. And typically in Algebra 1, if you stopped here, I would still give you full credit. I'm going to take it a step further though, because with your Apex program, I imagine you have to type it in completely simplified in order for the computer to recognize that you got your problem right. So, simplifying a radical. I demonstrated this in an earlier video, so I'm going to do it a little bit quicker here. We're going to break 32 down into its parts. I can say that is 2 and 16. You could also do 4 and 8, it won't matter. This time I'm just doing 2 and 16. 2 doesn't divide out anything else, but 16, I can say that's 4 and 4, and each 4 can be divided by 2. There we go. This is called a factor tree. If you need to freshen up or learn for the first time how to do factor trees, factor tree is what you want to look up on YouTube or in your textbook. That's the name of the game. So in this factor tree, I have a pair of 2's and another pair of 2's. So I can take out a 2 here, and I can take out a 2 here. We always multiply what we're taking out. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus 2 times 2. And my leftovers, I'm left with yet another 2. All divided by 2. There it is. This is the solution. X equals all of that. This is where using the quadratic formula is really useful, because there's no way we would be able to factor this out. And even completing the square would be fairly difficult. There we are. Again, I will post this whole sheet on our Class of Par website. Cheers.